So can you maybe take us through what we should expect to see more of RWE filling this void, and how we need to collectively maybe either participate or at least raise our literacy? Because I'm not certain every approval is only going to be based on a randomized phase 3 moving forward.
Yeah, I think you raise a really good topic. I mean, I think that's what we struggle with a lot, because conventionally, most of the decision makers are used to seeing large RCTs. And to kind of walk away from that, or to kind of move away from that, I think it's quite uncomfortable, I would say. Mm-hmm. But as you mentioned, there's more and more single-arm studies, and how do we still generate comparative effectiveness data? And I think that's where RW will play a huge role. One of the nuances there, though, is that oftentimes a single-arm study is being presented because it's a rare tumor or it's a very uncommon disease site. And that's why they can't do an RCT. But the conundrum is that to generate a synthetic control arm, we need a large sample size. So if you come to Alberta, for example, and want to generate a synthetic control arm, we may not have enough sample size to even do that, especially if it's a rare variant of a tumor. But in Canada, we're still very siloed in terms of our data infrastructure. If I want to pool data with BC or Ontario, it could be a year-long process to negotiate all the data transfer agreements. So I think one thing that we can maybe kind of put our concerted efforts towards is to maybe create data infrastructure, data systems where we can more easily pull data together. And I think that's been a struggle, because medical legal gets involved and they're about risk mitigation. So they see pooling of data just not a very conducive method of working. But in terms of research, I think having sample size, having power to answer these questions is really, really important. But unfortunately, we're not really there yet. We do multi-jurisdictional projects, but again, the runway to do that is very, very long. And it's so long that I don't think it's very pragmatic, and probably doesn't really address some of the CDA issues, for example. So the more we can kind of work towards a common goal of pooling data, sharing data, I think the better environment we have to kind of answer important questions for CDA.